Everybody knows I did not appreciate the way Deion Sanders left HBCU Jackson State. But that's in the past now. We can't do nothing about it. I stand in solidarity with the Sanders family over this because this is wrong. And whether it's Shannon Sharpe or Carmelo Anthony or Shedeur Sanders, an attack on any black man is an attack on every black man. This was wrong. And I'm hoping that Deion and Shedeur will sue the NFL for racial discrimination and collusion against Shedeur on draft day. This ain't the end of this, Art. They need to sue. Do not let this go, Deion. Do not let this go, Shedeur. Do not let this go. Because guess what, Art? What better karma could Shedeur get from this than to sue the NFL and get all $40+ million back that they robbed from him on draft day? Think about it, Art. If he sues and wins, he will get all of the $40+ million they robbed from him on draft day, plus a whole lot more. And he can change the rules to make sure this never happens again. I know he don't want to do that. I know Deion Sanders is not the activist athlete that Muhammad Ali or Colin Kaepernick were. I understand that. But Deion, you might got to go RBG on this one. You might got to go straight Black Panther on this one because what they did to your son was unacceptable. And Deion was quoted. Somebody said, maybe this was God's will or something to that effect. And Deion Sanders said, this wasn't God. This was nothing but the devil. This wasn't God. This was nothing but the devil. And Deion is right. So why did they do this, Art? Why did the NFL plantation do this? Because the slave masters felt like they needed to remind the slaves who's in charge of the plantation. See, let's understand something, Art. Deion Sanders is the greatest defensive back in NFL history. He's one of the greatest athletes America has ever seen. Deion Sanders is the only human being to ever play in a World Series and a Super Bowl. Let me say that again. Deion Sanders is the only human being that I'm aware of to have played in the World Series of baseball and the Super Bowl of the NFL. He won 2 rings. He won one of those rings for the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. And yet the owner of the Dallas Cowboys didn't see fit to speak up and speak out about one of his players, former players, who won him a Super Bowl. But that's neither here nor there. This shows Black America, Art, that white folks always stick together when they feel like their power is threatened. See, they never got a chance. They never got a chance to punish Deion as a player. Deion was his own man. He said how he felt. He did what he wanted to do. He survived the plantation. And then he got the audacity to end up at the University of Colorado, which I didn't support and really don't now, but I want him to be successful because what has happened has happened. But he's at the University of Colorado, takes them to a winning record in a bowl game in 2 years. He signs a new contract that's worth more than what a lot of coaches are making in the NFL. And as a college team, not even a top 10 team, Deion Sanders is getting more media coverage and game day coverage than NFL teams. They hate Deion. They don't like Deion. And they wanted to humble Deion. But what was so sad and classless about this, Art? What was so sad and classless about this, Art? They did it through his son. This wasn't about Shedeur. This was about Deion. This wasn't about Shedeur. This was about Deion. This was about showing Shedeur, Shiloh, and the entire Black America who loves Deion Sanders. This was about showing the slaves who runs this plantation. And they did it in such demonic form, diabolical form, and they didn't stop there, Art. They had the audacity to let the son of the defensive coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons, a team that Deion Sanders helped put on the map. Look at this. They let the son, the 21-year-old son of the defensive coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons, an NFL team that Deion helped to make popular, and his son prank called Shedeur on draft day. How disgusting is that? And then the defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons in the Atlanta Falcons organization, they apologize, right? But I ain't heard nothing about no punishment, Art. I don't give a damn about no apologies from white folks. I don't give a damn about no apologies from white folks. What is the punishment for the Atlanta Falcons for letting that happen? What is the punishment for the defensive coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons for letting that happen? And what is the punishment for that boy? Because, Art, you're not going to convince me that that boy didn't tell a lie when he said, allegedly, I saw the phone number on my father's iPad. I saw Shedeur Sanders' phone number on my father's iPad, and I wrote it down and did the prank call. So you mean to tell me you didn't get permission from your father to take Shedeur's number? You mean to tell me your father didn't know you took Shedeur's number? Shedeur said, Art, that was a new phone. Shedeur said, I just got the phone. He only had the phone for 1 or 2 days, maybe 3. How in the hell did you get the new number in 3 days? Your father gave it to you. Your father gave it to you. But your father don't want to get in trouble because he works for the NFL and you don't work for the NFL. So it only makes sense to blame you. And now to cover the story up, Art, now they're saying other players were prank called. Now they're saying white players. You know why they saying that, Art? Because they don't want this to look like what it is. They saying that, Art, because they don't want this to look like the racist attack that it is on the Sanders family. That's what this was about. Ain't nobody else get no prank call. This was for Shedeur. But y'all have to make it look like it was draft wide so it doesn't look like racial discrimination. I hope they sue, Art. And then on top of that, damage control. Damage control. Now they got executives from the different NFL teams, Art. Now they got executives, Art, from the different NFL teams saying, well, reports are coming out. Reports are coming out that Shedeur Sanders didn't do well during his interview. They said he kind of finessed the interview. They said that if he wasn't interested in the team, he didn't even act like he wanted to answer their questions. I don't believe that at all, Art.